Ever since his birth, Lucien-Nicolette alias Luciano has been torn between two worlds. Son of a Chilean mother, he was born in Switzerland and moved to Chile as a teenager. Inspired by Detroit techno, he organized his own parties there, and as a DJ learned to bridge the gap between different kinds of styles. In time for the new millennium, Luciano 2000 took the next step forward. He returned to Switzerland and released his first record on Mental Groove. With Blind Behavior, released on the British label Peace Frog, he shows he's able to transfer his minimal techno style onto an album. He's continuously developing his style with releases on labels like Perlon, Klang Elektronik, and his own label, Cadenza. Slices met up with the likable family man to get to know him a little bit better.
I fell in love with electronic music when I had a little bit like the cross between I was guitar player before, so I had a cross with electronic music when I discovered a band, which they were using drum machine and things like this, and they were using, instead of a drummer, they were using a little sequencer drum machine, and since that I started like to get a little bit into what it was, all the electronic instruments and things like this, and then I started to discover, let's say, the whole party thing, which is a little bit also something on the side, and that moment I had a little bit of cross. Music protected me in my whole life, for sure, because on the moment that I started with the guitar, it's something that took me out from a certain psychological or certain state that I had on that moment in my life, and took me somewhere where I could express myself somehow, and it took me to the creative side. And then electronic music also, when I was in Chile living, the situation that we had with my mother, my sister, it was pretty hard. I was earning money from music and living from music from very young, and it helped me a lot, and my whole life. It brought me here, it made me also like all the possibility that I have today on to create, to build my studio, to raise my family, since until now, at that point of my life, from my 14 years old, it always surrounded me in a very positive way. I'm a father of two little precious kids, and I think the most difficult thing is to stay together and to have this with the relation, and to have the family keep together. This is the most hard part, because the job is pretty heavy, because you're always away, and when you DJ a lot, you travel a lot, so you have a lot of time outside of home. But it's something that also keeps me tight somehow. I'm not afraid about being in the context with, for example, with Ricardo and all these things, because Ricardo is a friend from all my life, so of course I'm involved somehow with him. Now, I think I make my thing in a different way. Everyone has his own way to do the things, and I always try to do my things by myself. I always try to focus myself into doing something, like for example for the label also. It's very important for me also, for Cadenza, to try to release like new projects and to bring new people to the music thing, instead of trying to take friends that I know a lot of friends, and I have a lot of people also around which already make music, and I could just ask them to make something for it, to let's say for our own profit. But for me it's really not like that. It's really important that if you try to do something, or if you try to apport something to the music or to whatever, to try to create also a circle of certain people, is really try to do it from the beginning. That's my philosophy of doing things. Future dreams about the label. The best that I could imagine for the label is to grow on and to try to keep this philosophy really alive on the label, and that everyone have a field of understanding which is really good, and a good communication form between everyone, and that's the most important things to me at the moment. You said that my sound is romantic somehow, or something like this, and very warm. I think this is more related to my childness. Okay, it's not something that is related that I'm trying to be romantic or I'm trying to be warm. I think it's really something that is related to the music that sounds in my childness, to what the music did in my first years of when I was living with my parents, and that was the sound that touched me on that time. In South America, you have also this music which is really romantic, also very melancholic, and all these melodies are somehow in my head in constant resonance, and I'm always trying to reproduce this when I make music. The projects I'm doing besides of Luciano is, I have another project, couple of projects that I do alone, like Lucien-N-Luciano, which is more soft music and things like this. But I have also a project called Monotone, which is with Argenis Brito and Pierre Bucci. Then I have Sense Club, which is a project that I think is my oldest project that I have with someone else, with Ricardo Villalobos. And I have another project also called Carabina 3030 with Martin Chopf, which is another Chilean who was exiliated from Chile to Germany. And I have a project with Serafin, Luciano and Serafin, project also with Thomas Melchior. I mean, I like this idea about doing music, sharing music with other people, which is really also exciting. I think always everyone is learning a little bit from the other one, and apporting also to the musical side, apporting something to the other person. So it's always, I'm very open to this mixture project, let's say. I'm also part of the Narodniki project, and Narodniki became on that moment to have this idea about having few people making a live jam session, like really jamming on real time, like nothing really prepared, but really like trying to create everything on that moment, on the present, and everyone connected to one single mixer, and to make that one person is working on the mixer and making a real time track. So that was the Narodniki idea. I remember a time that I had a lot of interview from magazine and things like this, that they were asking me that, hey, I think the electronic music, I mean the techno music is really falling down, and all the big parties that used to take place before, they are not taking place, blah blah blah. Which I was really shocked about it, because it was not at all my opinion. I always thought that there were a time where like a certain technology arrived, which created all this. The beginning of like electronic music, this Detroit techno music and house music, all this thing, and it always the music always have been evoluting through the technology. Okay, so it's not that one person is making a new idea. It's just like a new technology suddenly is arriving, and a person is able to transgress all these ideas through these machines. So the range of possibility of making music is much higher. Then you need less people than you used to have before. And now it's really there's a big boom of all the possibilities to make music. Before you needed studio and a lot of money and gears, and now you need really few things to be all ready to make an amazing track, or to have an amazing production.